Hi everyone, it's Chris from Stamp Blessings, and it has been a long time since I've gone live again. So bear with me as I kind of get back into the swing of things. But we had a wedding this summer, and then Mom ended up in the hospital for a bit. Now she's getting physical therapy, so I'm kind of finding my new groove. So, but I couldn't wait to share my October card kit with you. Just as a reminder, for today and tomorrow through October 24th, we're having free shipping at Stamping Up when you spend $75 or more. So I just wanted to remind you of that. And when you spend $50 on my website, I send you normally a 4-card kit. And these are the 3 cards that that you'll get in the mail. Everything is pre-die cut. The only thing you have to do is find your own sentiments and add them. But I like to feature different things. This exposed brick embossing folder is one of my favorite. This whole class features the Label Me Grateful die set. And if you remember from Close to My Heart, and now Stamping Up carries these irresistible papers, and they're fun to put some inking on. But what I'm hopping on today is, instead of a card, I'm doing this little treat pouch. And I discovered this from another demonstrator. Her name is Lisa Fleming, and on YouTube she goes by Peanuts and Peppers Paper Crafting. So a shout out to her, because that's where I found this. And I'm going to show you how easy this little treat pouch is to make. So before I start cutting my own, I just wanted to let you know that it's a 4x6 sheet of paper. And you're going to be doing scoring at 1 3/4, 2 3/4, 4 1/2, 5 1/2. That's on the 6-inch dimension. And when you turn it around to the 4-inch side, you're going to score one more time at 1 inch. And then I'm going to show you how we snip those apart and turn it into a treat pouch. So let's put that aside. Oh, and if you do want to place an order, that's where you can find me. So it's Chris Franco, stampingup.net. I'm going to be using my Stamping Up score and cutter. The dark blade is the cutting, but I really like this scoring blade, and I think that'll be great for today's project. You can also use, of course, like a score, one of those scoreboards. So here is my paper. Cute, cute, cute. And so the first score is going to be at 1 3/4. And I love that this has all the way up to 16th measurements. So that makes it really, really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and take my gray scoring blade, and I'm going to do just a quick score. Then I can push over to 2 3/4, and I'll score there. My next score is at 4 1/2. And my last score is at 5 1/2. So I'm just following these measurements along the top, and that's so easy. Now I'll turn my paper, and again, here's the 4-inch side, and I want to score at 1. So for this one, I'm going to actually line it up with the 1-inch side over there. I think it's easier to hold on to more paper, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring down my score. So that's so easy. I'm going to put that away. Now, just so that you can see it a little bit better, I'm going to go ahead and do those scores real quick. It's easier for cutting and folding too. All right. And with this paper, it's hard to pick a side that you want to use. That's, I guess, a good problem to have, right? And then I'm going to come up here, and I already did that one. So this little piece here, the 1-inch section, I'm going to go ahead and just cut that out. And I don't need that for when I make my treat box. All right. But I do need to cut up to the first score line, so I'm cutting in about 1 inch. And I'm making little flaps for the bottom of the box. Super easy. Now to make this fold nicely, one of the little tricks that I've learned, is to just take your paper and make a little kind of a triangle cut. So I'm just kind of cutting it from the corner all the way up. Doesn't have to be fancy, but this allows the paper to fold a little bit better, and you're going to have a little bit less bulk. So I'm going to just quickly do that. For attaching this box together, you can use the tape and tear. I think that's strong enough. That's what I used. Or you can use glue. Or you can probably do both, right? So, but I'm going to set this aside. Oop, and I had that upside down, so if you had wanted to copy the measurements, sorry about that. But I'm going to go ahead and use the tear and tape. It's a great product. I had never really used something like this. I've used the red line over the years, but I hadn't used this. So I'm going to just put that down. And how I got turned on to it is because it came in one of my kits. So when Stampin' Up! Sends you a kit, they include everything you need to make it, or a paper pumpkin. And so it's a great way to try out different products. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to line up this box like that. So I'm going to just lay it flat and I can fold it. I'm going to just burnish it a little bit. And that, look at that, that is a nice hold. It really is strong. So you don't need something as strong as red line. Well, we're going to go ahead and build the bottom of our box. Turn in those little flaps. And we'll just use a little bit more tape and tear. Because if I used the Tombow glue, I'd have to sit there and hold it for a little bit. And I'm not sure you want to just watch glue dry, right? So I'm going to just put a little piece on the bottom of each flap, just the two bigger ones. Those little two ones fold in. I'm going to go ahead and peel that back. And it comes off so nicely. Sometimes you really struggle. I want to just make sure that the box is shaped nicely as I put that down. And I'll come back and do the next one. And there we go. So we have this perfect little treat box. Now to just finish forming it, I'm going to take my pointer fingers and kind of just push in and crimp it a little bit. And then in a few minutes, we're going to make the lid. So I mentioned that my card set and this box features the Label Me Grateful dies. This is just a calendar that was magnetic from, one of the donation places that sends you things. But anyway, it's great for holding my dies. I do buy magnetic die sheets on Amazon, and I'm eager to try the new stamp set and die pouches that are now coming out in November. So that should be really nice. So I just wanted to let you know what this looks like. And I did cut out this Very Vanilla. And that's going to be our lid. So to use it, I go ahead and I just fold it in half. And I could probably score this one too now that I think of it. But I have a bone folder, so I'm going to go ahead and just go like that. Okay. And now I'll use some more tape and tear. This will be the back side of the flap, and then we're going to go ahead and decorate it. Before I get too far though, I want to stamp a little sentiment. So I've got textured notes, which is in the last chance section, but I thought that really kind of went well with this Tweety pattern. And I'm going to ink up with some early espresso. I'm putting my sentiment on first so that as I add the leaves and the other things, I can work around it. I want to make sure. And yuck, I got that. I didn't take my time to clean off that rubber. So this is a good time to mention that Stampin' Up! As of November will no longer be producing these red rubber stamps. So, but this is like a common thing. Had I stopped and thought for a minute, I would have just cleaned that up. But we're going to go ahead and layer some of our die cuts on there, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So I'm going to just kind of figure out how I want to lay these things down now, with being mindful of covering up a goof. And I can use glue for that. I just wanted to show you, I love cutting out this little fern thing out of a book page. It kind of adds a little extra fun texture. So I'm going to see if I can work that in. It's gotten pretty frail, so I think it's been laying on top of my desk. So I think I'm going to just cut it a little bit so that it can lay better. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just assemble this here. Making sure I cover up that and give this just a little. I do like glue for, you know, putting on little things like this. It lets you move it around for a minute, and it's a little bit more forgiving, but this tape and tear really holds well. Okay, and then now we're gonna just put a little green, and I think just because I want it to be a little bit more centered, I'm gonna just cut it off. All right, so we haven't really covered up the thank you, but we have that. And then we've just got a little bit of twine to make a quick bow. I didn't bring up my mini dots, but I love those. I just bought another box during free shipping, and I saw that they were saying low inventory, so that was something I wanted to get quickly, because whether I have a sequin or something like this and I don't want to stand around holding it, you know, with like the glue here, I just love those mini dots, little tiny ones, the micro ones. All right, so that looks really pretty. We're gonna go ahead and peel off this tape. We are almost done with this box. Can you believe it? It's so easy. You could crank through a couple of these, like for Thanksgiving or Halloween if you wanted some treats. So I'm gonna just take a second and line it up on that edge. And then I can close it with more tape, or I can use a little mini dot. I like the mini dot because it gives me some dimension. I did find though that after a while it stopped holding. So if you were giving it away that day, you could probably, you know, hand it out. But if not, I would say fill it, put on a mini dot, and then just give it a little snip of glue and push it in, and there you go. So look at that. So two totally different looks, but look how look how cute that really is. So I'm gonna have to put something down to weigh that down a little bit, or I'll just fill it real quick and then weigh it down. So, well, I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial for this little pouch. Again, shout out to Lisa Fleming, who I found the idea on YouTube from, and I just wanted to share it with you in case you hadn't seen it. And again, if you place a $50 order this month with me, you'll get the fixings to make these 3 cards and the little pouch. And if you place $75 order between today and tomorrow, you'll earn free shipping. Well, thanks for tuning in. It's so good to be back, and I'll talk to you later.